Hello everyone. This is Mike Gingerich again with another Live with Mike, and today we want to talk about using stories, Facebook and Instagram stories specifically for social media lead nurture. Okay, so if you've been paying attention to both the Facebook and Instagram apps, you would notice that you're seeing this stories feature come up more prominently. So on Instagram, you see these circles at the top of the page there, and then on Instagram, you're seeing the rectangles kind of, and they're getting significantly large. I mean, so this is what stories are on Facebook, in the Facebook app there. And then if I flip over to Instagram, you can see them in these a little smaller area, but they're at the top of the page there. So if you're on Instagram, yeah, it's a little there. You can these circles. That's stories. Okay. So what you're seeing is people using these more. So I got a stat on this. January 2019 study from TechCrunch says that at least 500 million Facebook users are using stories every day. That's close to over a third of the platform's 1.57 billion users. And Instagram isn't far behind with that use, but the thing on Instagram is that more than 50% of users are using stories. And so when they that means they're adding stories and they're reading stories. And as a matter of fact, with Instagram, we're right in this shift that more people are actually looking at stories, spending more time in stories on Instagram than they are in the actual news feed itself on Instagram. So that's a big change. And what it means is that if you're a small business and you're doing some marketing on that, and you've been using Facebook, you've been using Instagram, this is another one of those times where you also need to be ready to adapt and think about how you might need to use this channel within Facebook, within Instagram, for some of your marketing purposes as the adoption rate of these continues to get higher and higher. Now, the other thing to note is that this is not going away. As a matter of fact, Mark Zuckerberg spoke a couple weeks ago and outlined for Facebook that their stories is going to become even more prominent. They're actually going to make some newsfeed changes so it becomes even more story-like. So they're lifting this status up higher. Now, again, coming back to stories, they are 24 hours and gone. They are tops of 15 seconds and gone, or on to the next one. And but like on Instagram, you can just you can hold video record, and you can do segments simultaneously up to 4 minutes in length. So you can put together and you can record a video on Instagram and up to 4 minutes, but it's going to be, basically stories is going to break it into like 15-second segments along the way, but people can, concurrently see that and go through. They could skip to the next segment, skip back, that type of thing. So it gives that play and pause button. Now, why stories? Why are they important? Number one is because where people are spending time, so you want to reach them where they're spending time on those platforms. You got to be there. And number two, what else is about them? Stories guarantee increased viewership. So the prominent place at the top of the page, it's noticeable. You put a new story up, you get into that viewership area, and the algorithms, again, are reading it. If you're reading their stories, they're showing you more people's stories. And then once they get into those, people are watching those stories through. On the news feed, typically you are scrolling, maybe you stop, but once you are in a story, you're taking a look at that story. You might click onto the next segment on that piece, but it's getting excellent attention span, action on that. And they're rolling out tools for stories as well that you can use. There's quizzes, there's music, there's GIFs, there's different pieces that you can use with stories. Now, so taking a look at it from a lead management status. So number one, you got to be active on these platforms. They have to expect to be hearing from you on Facebook, on Instagram for your business, your small business, and then moving to stories. The thing about stories is you do have to be active on that. You can't do it once a week and expect it to be out there. I mean, you're going to have to be active on stories because, again, those things are going away every 24 hours. but there's opportunities for social lead nurture through this, because again, on social media, people are usually there to have a good time and see some information. They are not there so much to have a problem solved. So you want to engage with them in that type of manner of how you can give them an experience, connect with them while they're doing things. And so one of the tools that I like that's it's been rolled out for both is polls. Again, so this is a way to get them to stop, to interact with you, get some information. You can get some data back, but you can also see who took the poll. You can ask them questions, that type of piece. And now on there is the possibility, and we're hoping this moves into everyone getting this. Not all brands have this at all at this point in time, but being able to link from a story to a web page, that type of thing. But what you can do with stories is continue to build the what I call the KLT, the know, like, and trust relationship. And stories let you do that through these little segments. That can be, and I use a lot of photos, so that's a still photo. I might take a photo and then I can use it, put it in the story, but I don't just put the photo. You got to have either a little caption, or better yet, a emoji, or better yet, a GIF, something that accentuates, and all these are within the app itself. They allow you to choose from. So, one of my big ones in stories is the arrow GIF. So I go into the search function within a story, and I type in arrow, and then I scroll down, and it gives me all these different kind of like flashing arrows or arrows that draw and that type of thing. And I put it where I want it on the photo, and I highlight that. Maybe I might add little text, that type of piece to it to even further capture the area of the photo that I want to, but it draws the user's eye to that spot. So using emojis, and that is a key way. So you can communicate these things. Go here, do this, this is what we're having, use this code, take this poll, answer this question, what do you think about this? There's a lot of pieces that you can do there. And again, I like the video aspect as well, because in a video, and again, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, you can capture a lot in that, and you can communicate what you want somebody to do with the call to action at the end. So you can use these for social lead nurture. Hey, I need you to do this. And then you can kind of point to this and say, I'm gonna show you the website is gonna be coming up here. So I want you to get that URL and then go over there and do X, Y, and Z, and you can get this discount code, or whatever it is on those types of pieces. So you can do that. So it's a great way to build connection to your brand, to do the know. They've know who you are, what you're about, culture of your business. The like, they feel good about your brand. They are interested in that brand. They can build an affinity just by the things that you share. It resonates with them, it connects with them. And trust. It's over the course of time, you've delivered some value, some fun, some activity, some things you told them about. So, things going on in your business, so that there's a trust built within that. And then you've got some information from them, and then you've gotten them to go and do something. Maybe it's you've even created a photo with a discount code on it, and you say, hey, this is going to be available for the next 24 hours. Bring it in and show it to us, and so they bring in their phone, they show that story to you, they get that discount, that type of piece. So it can be a direct one-to-one that way, or you can try to get them to an intermediary, like, come to my website, come to this page, and you're only talking about that specific page in the story itself. So it's, like MikeGingerich.com /story1. And I tell them that's where to go. And then I know that I've only said that here. I haven't listed it anywhere else. So if people come over to Story 1 on my site and they fill out the form there, I know they got there from that story. So I can tell the ROI on that. I know exactly where they came from on that. So don't just send them to your homepage. Don't just send them to your contact page. Another way to generate leads from stories is to connect with a partner. Now, influencer, so someone who has a fairly large following, and a following that meets your demographic. So who follows them, that community would be a target for you in terms of you wish you had more customers in that arena. So that influencer, you can partner with them, and they can help your brand get attention. So for example, I have a friend who is a travel blogger, and so some hotels, kind of like resort hotels, have started reaching out to her and giving her free nights there. They will get her to that destination, and she will basically do stories, Facebook, Instagram, and a few posts along with that, in each of those, just basically Facebook and Instagram, about her experience at the hotel, like her room, the beach, the pool, the entertainment, those types of pieces. And again, her audience segment is people that are looking at resorts and different things like that. So it was a wise move by that hotel chain to get her to do that, pay for a couple nights, whatever, get her there. And with her significant following, all these people are being introduced to that location that never were before. So that's one example of using a influencer in that. A couple best practices as I kind of wind down here. Make sure your story flows. So you want to think through some pieces ahead of time. It shouldn't be choppy and going from one thing completely to a different thing to another thing. You want to think through, can there be some sequence of these pieces? Definitely be creative with that. And repost. Okay. So one thing to note is that you can load other content. So you can load pictures you've taken somewhere else. And you can also save content that you create there. So these little video segments or things like that, you can download those and you can use those somewhere else as well, or in a actual regular post on each of those channels. I've already talked about definitely use emojis, use GIFs on that, tag relevant people, and definitely, I didn't talk about this one enough, but use hashtags. Okay, so this is Instagram. Hashtags matter. And so you should be using relevant hashtags, not just ones that you create, and not just the most popular ones, but strongly used ones that connect with your audience. All right. So another quick example, I've done a 2-minute plank video. Okay, so for fitness buffs, they know what a plank is, and I created a 2-minute plank video. And I can put that, a little intro to that, out on Instagram in a story, but I'm going to use some hashtags then. So I know people that are doing the plank typically are going to be involved in fitness, so hashtag fitness, hashtag triathlon training, hashtag training, hashtag running, because I want to try to reach runners who are being aware of this and that type of thing. So I'm using these types of hashtags within stories in that piece. So there's lots of possibilities. I think you need to begin exploring the use of stories as a lead generation tool. And again, it's you can't just always do, hey, here's this code, bring it in. That's a one-to-one type of relationship. You can do that occasionally, but you're going to need to work at some other pieces. The know, the like, the trust relationship, of course, over time is going to be one of the most important factors for you on that. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on things you can be doing to use Instagram and Facebook and the new stories feature, which continues to grow in popularity for your social media lead nurture. All right. If you have questions, let me know. You can post those in the comments, but hopefully this was a next step value for you. All right. That's it for now. This is Mike. Take care.